There's 2 piles. Okay, I was like, man, that's not very many.
Yeah, I got the thing.
Yeah.
I'll recommend it.
That's why I brought my backpack today.
You're on there.
Make sure they chew my
Well, I was getting technical on this. Oh, Zoom. Rodney Coyne's nephew's good about himself. Sinner got hurt. Another nephew came in and they
Good morning, everyone. We can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Everything going right? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out. We are going to start our meeting this morning with a public hearing. For those of you that's been in a cave for the last 20 years, we've talked about building an annex to replace some of the spaces in this courthouse. And so we are starting that process. You have to remind me again how we start a public hearing. Do we?
Well, I mean, you can just basically inform what we're here, I mean, what is the proposed project, any questions about the project, and then, you know, the estimated project costs, I think, are the important things for today's meeting. And again, we'll readdress it again on the 15th, but those are the things I think that.
So we're starting out today with the first public hearing.
Yes, sir.
There'll be another public hearing,
On the 15th.
and then all kinds of fun things after, depending on how things go. Now, we do not have a price yet on the annex. Dale, when is that supposed to come?
We'll get a draft tomorrow, and then the final should come in on the 9th.
On the 9th. Okay?
Estimate is,
Estimate? Say that again?
the estimate is roughly, we're looking at, you know.
Everything in here is estimated.
Right.
We're starting out with estimates.
Right.
Okay, but once we go through this process, once we finally get a price, then that's when we'll vote on the final price later down the road.
Yes, sir.
Correct? I just want to make sure that, because people's like, you're voting on stuff before we even have a price.
No.
And you're right, we are, but it's not the final vote, correct? I just want to make sure
And we're voting on
that's
amounts.
clear.
Yeah, not to exceed amounts.
Okay, all right. And then we'll fill in the blank with the actual on the 9th and after. Okay, all right, so who do I turn this over to? Would be you, Mr. Simler? All right. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm Jason Simler with the Baker Tilly, serving as financial advisor for the county on this project. So also in front of you, and part of the meeting today is as part of the public hearing is a resolution that has some preliminary information that's required to it's called preliminary determination, has certain information on the potential impacts if the county does decide to go forward with the bond issue. And in that resolution that you have in front of you, those are again kind of not to exceed amounts.
That is the paper you just handed out?
Well, that's the resolution, I think, that was handed out this morning. This is Board of Commissioners, Putnam County, Indiana.
There you go.
You got it emailed to you. Jim has the hard copy of the resolution.
Okay? Maybe we didn't get it emailed to us.
But I'll kind of go through the numbers here, because these are kind of more current estimates.
Please. Apologize. Alright,
She's making those copies. I'll kind of go through the schedules.
this is what you handed us?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you go to page 1, again, based upon estimates, we're looking at a project of about $60,295,000. That includes the construction costs, plus architecture and engineering costs as well. Again, this is on page 2. We do have some capitalized interest during construction. So again, we are planning on looking at paying for this for a combination of increase in property taxes and maybe some, cash on hand that the county is currently generating from existing revenue. It's too late to get a tax rate in place for 2026. So if we don't use cash on hand, then we'll use bond proceeds to pay that interest that's due next year. Now, we're looking at if they have cash on hand to be able to apply for it, so we don't have to borrow for it. But this is kind of, again, assuming that we do have to borrow the interest for next year. So that's roughly about $700,000. And then the next two line items are kind of allowance for replacement, maybe even in cost of issuance. If the bank buys the bonds, or if we use an underwriter, they usually have an upfront fee, and then all your legal, financial advisory, trustee expenses. Those are those like two line items right there. So you're looking at about a $17,435,000 total project is what we're estimating at this time. If you look at the bottom of the schedule, you have been accumulating funds, as you know, over the last few years. You've been setting aside money into the annex building fund. You've accumulated about $2.2 million over the years. There's about $1.7 million left because you've been using some of that cash on hand to pay for some of the soft costs that they've been incurring. So you're taking that $2.2 million of cash that you've applied, that leaves about $15,215,000 that we need to borrow to finance the remaining part of the project. So if you turn to page 3, I met with the county council, I think a week or two ago, and provided them very similar schedules. And I showed them at the time looking at the 10-year, 12-year, 15-year, and 20-year repayment schedule. The council voted in favor of going with the 10-year financing. Again, kind of think of this as your mortgage on your house. We could finance over a 10-year period up to a 20-year period. 20 years is the max. Again, you have a lower payment, but you're paying more interest. So the council, for various reasons, decided that they go forward with the project. They wanted kind of a 10-year repayment. So that's what I'm showing here in front of you this morning. So that basically that $15,215,000. If you look at the far right, you can see again the first payment for next year we're showing 0 right now. There could be depending on the council feels comfortable using cash on hand. We could make a payment next year. If not, the first payment wouldn't be due till January 2028, about $1 million. And then after that, we're estimating about $2,100,000 a year after that. Now, in the resolution that you have, you'll see, again, we talked about not to exceed amounts. It has a payment of about $2.5 million. So again, costs coming high, we decided to do a smaller bond issue for whatever reason. Rates coming higher than what we're showing. I want to have some flexibility that we can still do the project that you want to do and still stay within the parameters. So the document that you have has a not to exceed annual payment of $2.5 million. Again, we're looking at it's going to be closer to $2.1 million.
So, you said that if we have some, let's just say we find $500,000, is that each year we can make another, so we can change that each year?
Yeah, so really what will happen is at budget time, when the council does their budget, probably, in the summer or fall, they'll look at their budget for the upcoming year, and they say, okay, we have an additional, let's say, $500,000 of whatever revenue that they have available. They could apply it towards this bond payment and reduce the amount that we have to levy.
For the tax, and you can, each year could be
It's an
different,
annual decision.
or you could do nothing,
Correct.
okay,
Yeah.
or you could pay 100%,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
So it gives you that flexibility, the maximum flexibility, depending upon how each year
Okay.
expires.
all right,
But we're showing here, assuming you use no cash on hand and you do 100% with the new levy. So based upon an 8-cent tax rate, kind of looking at a $200,000 home, a person with a $200,000 home, their annual property taxes would increase by about $53.60 a year. And you see a $300,000 home, that'd be about 78 cents, $78. And then for every 1 acre of land, it'd be about $1.23 rate increase. And this is assuming that taxpayers aren't already at their circuit breaker caps. So like if you lived in Greencastle, where the tax rates are higher, and you're already at your cap, you could potentially see no increase in property taxes, just to get the cap. Now, with the determination that you have, getting with, you're using maximums, instead of an 8-cent tax rate increase, it'd be like more like a 10-cent. If we were to go up to that, closer to 2.5 million annual payment, which we don't intend to, but if we had to, it'd be more like a 10-cent rate increase. And for a $300,000 or $200,000 house, instead of $53, it'd be like $61 or $62. For a $300,000 house, it increased from $78 to $90. And for a 1 acre land, it'd be $1.42 to $1.23. So again, what you have in front of you in the determination, what the public, those are kind of, again, based upon the not to exceed amounts of maximum. But the rates that we're showing you here is where what we think will occur.
okay. Questions, gentlemen?
Something else that I was asked by the council, and I know I've been asked a couple of times throughout this process is, as President Goodall said, we've been talking about this for quite some time. A couple of banks, local banks have reached out to the county to show their interest. I'm planning upon emailing them this week to see what their interest is and what kind of comparable rates that they might offer. And once I have that information, I'll summarize that, provide to the county, and kind of compare that, what we think we could get on an open market if we were to broaden the sale to those outside the county and outside Indiana, and then we can make a decision what route we want to go. But we definitely want to have them an opportunity to bid on these.
Okay.
I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, for one thing, I'm kind of disappointed in our people working on this project because we had a meeting the end of February last year, and we kept saying we're gonna get a hard figure, and we've been almost 11 months now and no hard figure. I can't believe it takes that long to get a hard figure. I mean, I'm just disappointed. I mean, I'm just being truthful with you on that. I think, I wasn't involved when this was all set up, but this is just my own personal opinion. I think if it was all bid let out, I think we could be building it cheaper, but anyway. And I know we're all gonna catch heck if we start raising these taxes $1.23 to $1.42 an acre from all of our farmers, so anyway. So I guess we best be prepared on that part of it. So,
Anything else?
no,
Tom?
Just reading it.
Huh?
No, I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right, what's our next step?
Commissioner, could I address?
Absolutely.
Could I address the bidding portion?
Yeah, sure.
So this is will be a fully bid project when we get the final cost on 12th, or the 12th, 9th of December. The bids are currently out, they're assembling them today. We should have a draft of them tomorrow, on the market for the various bid packages, but the number you will see is actually a hard bid number. It's not an estimate.
Okay. What's our next step on this public hearing?
Well, is there any comments, I guess, other
Okay,
than,
comments from the crowd?
Yeah, you need to open the public.
Yep, yep. So, all right. With that said, we'll open it up to, I apologize for my voice, but we'll open it up to the public for any comments, if anybody has any. Hearing none, we'll close the public comment section. And then what's our next step?
you
Is that
took
it?
my,
Huh?
you took my draft, so I'm looking it up real quick.
Well, here. You can have them. Oh. Is there anything we vote on right now or not? There's not, correct? This is just a standard public hearing?
Correct, yeah, you're not voting on a particular resolution today. We will have one at the second hearing, which is going to be held at your December 15th meeting.
Okay.
It would then be voted on at that time.
Okay.
I think the only other action that we were looking for is if you have 3 building board members that you
Yes.
have agreed upon and want to
Yep.
put up for that, we will create that building board after we have those names.
Okay, so we were supposed to have 3 names today?
If you do have,
Okay, which we do not have
okay, we will need them by your 15th.
by the
meeting. So
15th
if you
meeting, okay?
Talk, discuss some names,
What-
and then bring those up at the 15th meeting and vote on them that way.
Can you explain what that is and what those 3 members do?
Yeah, the building corporation, if
Here.
anybody,
Will you use that, please, Lisa? Thank you.
Absolutely. My name is Lisa Lee with Ice Miller. We serve as bond counsel on this project. The building corporation, because we have to do this as a lease financing, we need a leasing entity, which if you're familiar at all with school corporation financings, they always have to use a building corporation. So we create a 3-member building corporation that is recognized as on behalf of issuer of the bonds. So they will meet at least 2 times during the financing stage. And then if we don't name a lessor representative, which I think you will, but they could meet next year to also approve claims. So they'll have to meet twice during this financing procedure, and then probably a couple more times in 2026 to make sure that the going forward process is in place to pay all claims. And then when the bonds are paid off, the building corporation is required to then convey the finished project to the county. So they don't have an option to go do something else with it. They are purely there on your behalf.
Okay. So what's the parameters of these 3?
They need to live in Putnam County and be at least 18 years of age.
Okay.
The only thing that we ask is that you can't have elected officials on the building corp. We ask that you don't have 2 of any particular governing body. So if you don't have 2 county commissioners on there, because then it's just an extension of the county commissioners.
But you,
And
You just
not 2
elected officials,
council
right?
members on the building corp, because then it's just an extension of the council. So,
but you
yeah, ask your
just,
question.
you just said we
You
can't
can,
have,
no, I said you can.
but you
It's
don't
not necessarily
recommend it.
recommended, but
Okay.
certainly would not want you to have 2 elected officials from the same governing
Okay.
body.
So the
If that makes
recommendation
sense.
is no elected officials?
That would be the recommendation.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. All right, so it's something where the 3 of us will come together and figure out those 3 members?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll have that to you. Is that something we have to vote on in an open meeting,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
right?
For our
Yep.
purposes.
Yep, okay. So then the next commissioner meeting, we'll set that and vote on those 3. Okay. Is that it for the public hearing? So do I make a motion to close the public hearing?
I think you already did, yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Public hearing is checked. So the next thing is Jim Inslee, the resolution and a,
We already talked about, yeah, that was,
so what about the resolution? Is that
we'll
part of
do
the
it
appointment?
next week,
Okay,
or, I'm sorry, 2 weeks.
so we're moving that goes to the 15th.
The official, once we've had the second meeting on that, yeah.
Okay,
Can you get a number on that? Is that, you can assign a number to that as if it was introduced today and then vote on it?
It would be 12-1.
Are you wanting it dated like for the 15th, December 15th, or for today?
However you guys want to, you're not going to adopt it or consider adoption until the 15th, so
So it'd be
however you
15.
want.
Yeah, so it'd be 2025-12-15-1.
yep. And that's just for, there's two different resolutions here. Correct?
Correct.
So,
So the second one, you just put -2 instead of -1.
right,
And the second one is what we call a reimbursement resolution. This is completely optional, so I wasn't sure if it made the agenda or not. This is completely optional. What this does, though, it allows the county to be reimbursed from tax-exempt bond proceeds once bonds are issued, if you have expended money to pay for costs ahead of time that you want to be reimbursed for. I don't know if that'll be an option if you're using cash on hand for the project, whether you're gonna be reimbursing yourself or not, but it does just leave your options open.
Okay.
It doesn't require.
because that's what we've been doing so far this year.
You've been spending money, and this
We
will
just
allow
been
you to
paying cash
reimburse
for-
yourself.
But we never anticipated to get reimbursed. That way, the bond down as low as possible. But
Right.
signing that just keeps your options open. If something were to change between now and time to close, you want to get reimbursed for a portion or all, you got that flexibility.
All right,
It's not our intent.
I got a question.
yes, sir.
If this dollar amount exceeds a certain dollar amount, what is that amount if it has to be voted on by the public for resolution, or whatever you'd call it? You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about a referendum?
Yeah.
To go on the,
Mm-hmm.
That's over 19 million, close to 20 million, so we're well under that.
So it's same as it was on the school boards, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
okay. All right. All that's clear as mud,
No.
right? Okay, thank you very kindly. See you again on the 15th. Okay. All right, next on the list, Terry Burnworth, radio RPF request. Hi, Terry.
Hi,
Good
Rick.
morning, sir. Here's a microphone for you.
Oh, I don't talk loud enough.
Well, it's the people out in John Q. Public Land that's listening
All right.
is what we're shooting for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
What do you got for us today, sir?
It's an addendum to my agreement. To do an RFP, request for proposals for subscriber units, okay? The radios, because you did the infrastructure and you're putting in a, so everybody understands, the FCC, I went ahead and applied, you're only using 3 licenses, but I went ahead and applied for 6 licenses. So you now own 6 licenses on the 700 megahertz system, okay? You're using 3 of them, and you're putting what's called a trunk system together, which means you can have infinite, you got 10,000 talk groups. You just make talk groups, you know, you have state talk groups, you have local talk groups, you have whatever you want to make up. I mean, that's gonna be whatever the radio committee makes up as their talk group template system. But what's unique about your system, and the state is just getting started, in fact, I don't see them putting one online until 2027 in one county. You have a phase 2. What a phase 2 is that when you're miking up, okay, you're using that channel. Nobody else can talk on that channel. That's it. That's only you. Well, like for the state, that's the reason a lot of times in your state system here, bonk, 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 you hear that sound on the radio. Sometimes it's out of range, which you can do on the radio, but a lot of times because you don't have enough channels in the state system, okay? Because the state doesn't have enough money to put more than 4 channels on one of your towers. And remember, the DOC uses it, NDOT uses miking up, you're splitting the channel. It's called phase 2. And what phase 2 does is it allows you, I won't get too technical, but you normally travel on a 12.5 kilohertz. That's your signal, okay, your sine wave. But you're splitting it where it's like, I want to do 6.25 and 6.25. So as you're miking up, somebody else can use that channel too. Or in an emergency condition where somebody has to cut in at dispatch, they can actually cut in, you can hear it right on the radio. And that's usually only in emergency conditions. We talked about that before, Sheriff. And I've had that happen before at the Howard County project, where they had a chase and dispatch heard all the traffic, knew where people were, but they couldn't cut through. And the most recent thing, everybody heard about the helicopter hit the plane over in DC, you know. That is a phase 1 system, not a phase 2 like yours. FAA was actually miking in. They couldn't hear it because they were on the mic, okay? So what this means is your subscriber units, now would be the time to upgrade, and I'm a big believer in doing everything competitive. Okay, that's how you did your radio system, okay? Now you're at a point where it's like, okay, we got all these subscribers, you know, about half of them we can upgrade to phase 2, the other half we can't upgrade to phase 2. So my suggestion to you is, let's go ahead and do an RFP. You get actual cost in then, because I know you're gonna get Motorola submitting, you're gonna get E.F. Johnson submitting, which is the Viking unit, you're gonna get L3 Harris submitting, and possibly Tate submitting. So you'll have 4 P25 compliant radio systems that could be submitting on this. And then at that point, you can ask your council, do they wanna go ahead and fund this part of it? You don't have to go to phase 2. You do not have to do that. But I'm saying now would be the time if you do it. Okay? Does that make sense? And the other thing is your subscriber units. The big thing now, like all the state troopers have it, because they, for some reason, they got an infinite amount of money now, for some reason. Not when my family was in it. But what they have is they actually have the capability of talking through an LTE system. Okay? Not a very good system, but when all hits the fan, you have something that's always available. And that's something that we'd be asking for on the subscriber units is how do your units, because what happens is, and we've talked about it, when these people submit, they have to not only submit their specifications that we already sent out to them through this 300-page document, but they have to submit some of their products that we can literally try out, okay? And say, hey, you know, this Motorola unit can do this, well, can the L3 Harris unit do that, okay?
When you say these different systems, are these handhelds?
These are the handhelds, and the mobile units, Rick, they're in like the fire apparatus and in the commissions.
Okay.
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 So it's all radios, okay? Because what you're doing in your system, like I said, you're gonna have 3 channels. One of them's a control channel, so you only have 2 talks. If you go phase 2, that's 4 talks. You have as much what the state has right now, okay? And then you can add on repeaters later if you want to, okay? So,
What's the price difference between the phase 2? Do you have any idea?
oh, well, phase 2, you're already doing it, okay? Like that's a good question, Tom. Your repeaters that you have at your 2 sites, whenever we can get NDOT's permission, okay? But your repeaters at your sites actually already have that capability. But the only people that have a phase 2 radio are the troopers in the county, okay? And so what happens is when it's phase 2, Tom, it actually will always dumb down to phase 1. I don't mean that badly as dumb down, but it will always go lower.
It always reverts back.
Yeah, it always
If
reverts
2's not
back.
available, it automatically
Yes.
goes to 1.
Okay. As far as the radios, there's another part to your question you may not realize. One thing I found out a long time ago, and I lecture about this around the country, is that if you don't do things competitively, you're gonna find that the vendor's gonna do something that they shouldn't be doing. It's called rent seeking, taking advantage of the situation, okay? And you look at, you know, we all know construction companies, we're lucky we can walk away with 2 or 3% profits, if we're lucky, okay? Well, Motorola walks away with 56% profit, okay? L3 Harris walks away with 30% profit. EFJ walks away with 26% profit. These are all filings of the SEC that you can look at, okay? But the point is, you've got to put them in the room and make them competitive, okay, to get that cost factor down. So that's, my suggestion is to go ahead and do this. Rick is gonna end up taking you. You will not have the final numbers probably until March or April. Okay?
Okay.
Because it's a process.
So, all I've ever heard, you talked about, this is an RFP to get quotes on radios.
Yep.
Do we know how many we need, and why is it, all I've ever heard are the words Motorola and Kenwood, and now you just said 4 different, and Kenwood wasn't one of those?
Yeah, well, Kenwood is E.F. Johnson. I call it E.F. Johnson. Kenwood owns them out of Japan.
Okay.
But E.F. Johnson, they, in April of this year, they made a clear split that everything coming out of Irving, Texas, which is E.F. Johnson, the old Edgar, we all had Bearcat Scampers. Besides that, I'm old. Okay, they made those. But the point is, they are doing, they're still owned by JVC Kenwood, but when you buy a radio, it's a VP 5000 unit or a VP 8000, because it's a Viking unit,
Okay.
which is the old Edgar Johnson.
Do we have a hard number of how many actual radios?
We got a
We need-
range. Jeff worked on that. We have, the initial
Because
one that I got from David Constant.
Earlier in the year, Andy,
You know,
go ahead.
well, the last number I heard was that we needed approximately 900 radios, but I can't see where we need 900 radios.
No, Andy's right.
So where
Andy's
do we go to
100%
find
right.
out how many radios we actually need?
And that's part of what I do on this, is I inventory everything, say, what can go P25? And on top of it, like Sheriff, like the couple of radios you just bought, those are already phase 2 compliant, okay? All we gotta do is flash them, okay, and then that's not a big deal. They also have the capability of having LTE conversations on them too. But, that's only, what, a couple radios, wasn't it?
The newest ones.
The newest ones.
And that's my only question is, how many of the current radios that we own won't work with this new system if you do
The
the
phase
instead of
2.
VA?
Yeah, the XTSs won't. Those were good workhorses too.
Will they still work on,
Phase 1.
on phase 1?
Yes,
They
they
still
will.
work on phase 2?
That's right, Sheriff.
Will, the old radios still work with the new channel? They just won't be able to interrupt or in phase 2 or what?
They will always dumb your system down. So
Right.
they cannot have that interrupt capability.
But they will physically
They will physically work fine.
continue to work.
Yep.
That's a big deal for us. We have lots of use in old radios in hospitals and stuff, but, well, actually, we use and stuff.
Which Sheriff brings up an excellent point. One of the things I put on there, when you do an RFP and you do a competitive, the reason you don't do a hard bid for radios, you do RFP because, and he knows better than anybody else, they're apples and oranges between radios, okay? Like my son's a major in the Marines, all they believe in is the L3 Harris, okay? Because that's L3's big thing, DoD work. But the thing is, Motorola is good for public safety, okay? Well, so is the Viking unit, okay? But we gotta try them out. We gotta physically get them and try them, and that's part of this. And we get a trade-in value for everything. Even the XTSs have a trade-in value. Some third world country needs them, I know. Huh? If they were, yeah, and the knob's
So-
still on them.
So how do we know all 4 of these radios will work in all corners of our county?
What, part of what you already approved before, and you had 3 companies submit, and all 3.
Are you talking about the towers?
Yeah, the towers, they call it tower project, but that's your infrastructure, Rick. All 3 companies submitted and confirmed what I had already engineered for you, and that is you have 100% saturation, okay?
When these towers are
When
operational?
the towers are operational, yes, okay?
Because right now, some of those radios don't work in certain parts of the county, correct?
That is,
Is what I'm being told.
yeah. And then the other thing we're doing, Rick, is that you have it on 2 of the very high points. Your predecessor, Foster, really do the elevations here. And you're able to not only do your 700 frequencies, but your VHF for everybody that's still using an old VHF pager. We don't have to upgrade the pagers because we're gonna send that signal out as an analog signal on the VHF. Now, you can later upgrade it to a digital signal and talk across, but you really don't use VHF radios other than pagers.
And that'll save us a little bit of money from having to pay for rent on 4 or 3 times.
Okay, so
So anyway,
this, what I call RFP,
yep,
where do you make your money?
it says right in there, I get paid $50,000.
Okay,
The bottom part.
that's the number I was looking at, that's why I'm asking.
It's the same, the way I do it, Rick, I do it for every single county. It's $50,000 when I do an RFP, period. Okay? I
Okay.
did that for your infrastructure, it's gonna be the same thing for your strikers.
So how is this different, Andy, than what we did at the first of the year?
Not too much other than,
I'm asking.
well, I mean, what I've got, they just contacted everybody and they come up with a price, but, I mean, nothing has been set or in stone on anything. That's,
Okay. All right. I got a question for you. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Before, what, do you have any questions here, Tom?
No.
Andy?
I got one. So if we don't do this radio system, these new radios, you don't get paid, is that right? Or you want your money up front?
No, I get paid through the process, Andy.
Okay.
I'm
So that
already
50,000 is gonna be added to the radio cost?
That's exactly how it works, okay?
Okay.
I mean, it's, because the thing is, you're gonna pay me to do the professional services. You're gonna get the hard cost on a vendor you're gonna choose. Some radios you'll keep that you already have wire replacement for the radios, okay? And then at that point, you'll have the cost and the vendor contract that I'll, you know, 'cause you never sign a vendor contract. So I'll have a contract that's already made for the vendor you end up choosing.
So you're gonna, if this goes through, you're gonna come back and instead of the 900 some radios, you're gonna find out we only need 682.
The
Or
original-
whatever that number is.
The original number, Rick, so you know, originally it was around 560 radios, okay? If we wanted to go totally phase two, okay? But then the question would become, do we want the ones that we do keep, they're already in service right now? Do we want them to have any LTE capability at all? or not?
Okay,
And that'll be a decision that between the executive body and the fiscal body you'll have to make.
okay.
Okay, and we do have a radio committee, we had a, meeting to reconvene on where we're at on the schedule of everything. And we have a radio committee, if you guys wanna pursue this, that have representation of all your public safety personnel across the county,
Okay,
okay?
all right. You had a question, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
You state your name, please.
Okay, Tom Burnett, Jefferson Township trustee. Over the last year, well, last several years, has been talk of buying radios. And it wasn't that many months ago, we had the chief from Floyd up here talking about they were trying to get grants to buy radios. Now, all of a sudden here, it acts like you guys are gonna come up with money to buy all these radios. I was getting ready to buy some radios, cause our radios are 15 years old and we got a bunch of junk. And they've gotta be replaced one way or the other. Now the county's gonna buy them, if that be, fine. But I need to know whether I need to start buying radios or not.
Okay.
Well, it'd save us money, you just go ahead and buy them out of your funds.
Just make sure that they have the
No,
requirements on there.
It brings up a valid point. So, all right, gentlemen. Yes, sir.
When in this process does someone talk to the departments to say, these radios of yours will work on the new system, and when will they not? Like, do I need to be talking to someone about that now, or not?
Yeah, well, if they pursue to do this, you wait, I'll give you my number, but we already have some of the radios on the inventory, Dave Clausen has developed an inventory.
Well, like, at least at least three of my radios, Dave didn't program, so he probably doesn't.
Oh, well then, see, I'll have to get those from you. There has to be a spreadsheet for the entire county. One thing, when you have a new system, even if you do nothing, okay, and then we just gotta make sure that you're already operating on the state system, so you're already 225 compliant. If you don't do anything, we still need to have where all those radios are, because they're going on to your system, not just the state system, okay? So they have to have identification still, no matter what, okay?
All right. Gentlemen, we have this in front of us. Was this discussed at the 911 board or anything, or?
Very little the other night.
Okay. All right, what do you want to do with it?
I would go to the users. Sheriff, what do you think?
The meetings that I've sat in on, not the board, any of the board meetings, but one we had the other day, I like the idea of phase two of cutting down. I think that puts us in a beneficial period for bidding and also for the capabilities of the county for emergency service people. My only question I keep bringing up is making sure that our old radios still continue are workable. I mean, there are even some underlying agencies that will never be invited to those meetings that use those radios. I want to make sure that those can still work. As we move forward, yes, I think people standing out on the side of the road in a bad storm in phase two or an active shooter event, but I don't know that everybody does. So as long as we still have capabilities with the old stuff, that's all I care about. And then as we move forward, guys that are using the radios 58 times a day compared to 58 times a year, make sure they have the top stuff. As long as we have that, that's fine. I don't know that when you do your radio list too, I don't know that, hand-me-downs, if the old radios still working. I mean, instead of trading them in, it's kind of like some things, I wouldn't trade them if they're still, they're gonna give you pennies on the dollar for what it's actually worth. Hell, maybe with a benefit in the closet. We went in and pulled some out of the closet, it's still working, we just need to redo. Do anything else? Any buttons, like you said, that was small. Appreciate the opportunity, that's my 2 cents.
Okay. So, looking at this paper, the difference that I see in what was done earlier in the year versus now is this is way more detailed. Okay? It's way more detailed, there's way more steps. Those 2 gentlemen earlier in the year did that free of charge. Are we gonna find anyone that, to do it correctly, it needs to be done pretty detailed to make sure this is a lot of money. We're talking, what, well, more than $1 million
Yeah.
cost, maybe even 2 million. So we need to make sure we do it correctly. Is it, so to me it comes down to, is it worth paying somebody $50,000 to do it? Or is it worth us finding people that do it for less than 50,000 or even free like we did earlier, and do they cover all the steps? That's what it boils down to. I'm just trying to weigh out the pros and cons here. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm for or against either way. I'm just trying to understand the pros and the cons. So we've been talking, just like in Annex, we've been talking about new radios for how many years? We have so many of these cans we've kicked down the road. And this is the first time we've ever had this much of a detail.
Right.
So,
And, I mean, the other way was not getting anywhere. I'll just be the first one to admit.
okay,
I mean, you know,
so where can $50,000 be paid out of? Let's start there. Where is 50 grand at?
I think Jefferson Township volunteered.
Well, it brings up a point. Is there a percentage that
Here's the other thing.
that each township trustee pays?
It ain't been that long ago that we went for a week where the fire departments in this county weren't notified because the page system was down.
Right.
Nobody knew anything about it, nobody told anybody, and it all goes back to, when I started getting involved with it, I contacted some people I knew when I was with Decatur, went to the state. Whoever put the software system in dispatch, there's only 2 counties that use that system, and that first off will scare the hell out of me.
We fully understand the past.
I'm saying, who
Okay.
picked that out? I mean, was it
But-
Joe Blow over here, or the guy that, I can do this?
Understood.
Or a professional? I'm just saying, there's been some things in the past that weren't done right,
Okay.
and now you're getting the end results of that. And one of these days, it's gonna come back and bite you.
Okay. So, $50,000 for radios. What options? We have, the Peace app or whatever, public safety,
Peace app for additionals has 474,000.
for 2025.
Which is too late to do an additional for 2025.
Right, it has to be 26. So is there money available in that fund?
Not unless he's got something appropriate in his budget already. That'd be the only way to tap into it right now.
For next year?
If it's next year, you can do additionals next year, but we won't know how much money he has available until I get the budget numbers, and I'll have to do the spreadsheet.
Okay. So what other options do we have? We have the war chest. We have county general. This, of course, has to go to the county council if this is something that we go forward with. Will that be on their December meeting? Say we approve this today, will that be on the council's?
They can't formally
December meeting?
approve any money until they have an additional, and they won't be able to do an additional until January the earliest.
So no matter what, this cannot be voted on by the council until January,
Correct.
correct? Okay, I'm just trying to understand
And
that.
he said maybe hazardous waste as well.
Who?
Hazardous waste.
Hazardous
possibly.
waste. Okay, all right. All right, gentlemen. What do we want to do with this? We got three options: approve, deny, or continue it till the next meeting or till January. If nobody else has any more questions.
I'm gonna just go ask him the towers. This goes back to the towers.
Right.
You're saying you're having issues with NDOT to get the
Yeah,
tower down there? I
Rick,
thought we
I think
had
you
that
do
all
have
okay.
I think you go
I'm
hazmat.
sorry, yes, the sheriff has a contact.
Hazardous waste.
They
I think you
jumped
go
on
hazmat.
it in the beginning, it's not an issue, we've already done soil boring, we've actually, Tim Higby's already surveyed.
Somebody for health
It's back there in the back.
We ever heard of him
But
spending that?
it's a real estate division now, and it's going nowhere, so we just have to have that. So. And then one of you guys are on the radio with me, oh,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be on it.
yeah, so that's nice.
Okay. Did we make a decision yet?
Well, I've been hearing about this for 2 years, and I wasn't even commissioner last year.
Right, yeah, I've been hearing it for about
11?
9, 10, 11, yeah. Yes.
Well, I make a motion to approve.
Okay, so Commissioner Beck makes a motion to approve Pyramid Consulting to put an addendum for an agreement. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all this.
It's just to do an RFP for your subscribers.
To do an RFP for PSC subscribers for $50,000. Yes, Tom? Commissioner Helmer seconds it. I will make that unanimous. Where are we pulling that money out of?
Out there. We'll go back here in the yard and dig it up.
Dig it up out of the money tree?
We got
Yep.
it in one check?
You have 2,218,000 in hazardous waste.
How much? 2
Two
million?
million, 218,000.
You want to amend your motion of where it comes out of?
Well, properly, I can't amend my motion, but Tom can amend the motion.
Make a motion to take it out of, that's terrible, if possible.
Take the 50,000 out of hazardous waste?
Yes.
I'll make that unanimous. We will pass it to the council. And that'll be in the January meeting, correct?
Yes.
That will
I'll
be in the
advertise it
January meeting.
We can figure out the balance.
Yes, yes, you should.
That gives us.
What date, when is that?
Be like the,
Well, is that the first one?
no, yeah, I think the 20th?
20th.
6:30,
That's council.
I do want to make a shout out to the two gentlemen earlier in the year that took the radios and tried to figure out
Oh, Jeff
how
did
many.
great.
So I do want to commend those two for that.
So, on this
Terry.
committee, who's gonna form this committee? Well, since Tom said he wants to be on it, so we're gonna put him in charge of it, then.
Are we making a committee? Is that your recommendation?
They're making, yes, they've got it,
You got your committee?
yes.
Okay.
And how many people's on this committee?
Oh, hang on, like,
All
Oh, wow, all righty. Half the county.
Well, and they're all,
Is this the 911 board?
no,
This is a different,
no, this
whole different
is just for the radio.
shaboozle.
For the radios.
Just
to
for
make
And why do we need that many people?
Because they're all department heads throughout public safety in the county.
Okay.
And they should have a say-so in the radio system that they get to use, so.
Okay, all right. And so who drew the short straw here? I mean, who,
Tom did.
I was at meeting a couple weeks ago, so.
Yeah.
okay. There's your answer. Now, the problem with that answer, Mr. Burnett, is, what'd you say, April? April, May?
Well, for the electric power,
No, for all these RFPs to come back,
Yeah, just let me know what you,
right?
that's easy.
yeah.
You said March, April. I got it wrote down.
When Bergen County,
So
So
you guys
we're
were-
literally talking, by the time this all comes to fruition,
they come out,
if it all goes through, we're talking the end of 26
That's right.
before we would ever see a radio, or first of 27.
they went down 3 or 4.
By the time you order them and you get all that,
We still
The
have,
good part about that is we'll have time to get our, the infrastructure up,
okay,
tested and.
well, another thing too is find funding,
huh?
find funding.
Well, the other part of this is our entire income tax structure for the state of Indiana changes in 27, which we talked about that last week, and right now, if we leave things exactly the same, we're gonna be about $600,000 short of income tax revenue. So we're gonna have to, there's several things we're gonna have to figure out. We just had that meeting last week. But, thank you. All right, moving on to hopefully something simpler. Mr. Highway, hi,
Hi, how are you?
how was your weekend?
Great. Both days were great.
How did everything go?
Went pretty well. We did have 2 trucks go down. One's backup service, so we gotta order parts for the other one. Hopefully we can get those overnighted for this next round. But, yeah, initially we had all 13 districts, all 13 routes filled up. And, got 3 new drivers broke in over the weekend. So, they're learning baptism under fire.
Learning by fire,
Yeah.
yes.
But, yeah, everything went pretty well overall.
Okay,
No major snafus. So, yeah, pretty happy with the way things went. We'll see how things go the next round. 1 to 3 inches tonight into tomorrow, so.
yep, yep.
So hopefully we got enough material on the roads to act as some sort of tree treatment. So, yeah.
Did you pre-treat,
Pardon?
did you pre-treat?
We did not this time.
And I did, I don't know.
Yeah, he not did, but I don't know if it's done him a lot of good, honestly. New trucks should be delivered this week, cab and chassis. Clark Equipment doesn't have room for them just yet, so we're gonna have them delivered to the highway department.
Okay,
And then we'll take them
and
up
we'll
to,
drive them up.
take them up to Clark, as they get room to work on, to be outfitted with the beds and plows and sanders and that type of thing, lighting. Got three different, issues, that we'd like to do emergency claims on. For Bridge 133, E&H Bridge. Bridge 154 to United for the design build. And to Iowa Farm Equipment for the grinder demo. I spoke with him, I told him to go ahead and send us an invoice. He said if we decided to buy the grinder, that would come off the purchase price.
You need our approval for that? Do you have dollar amounts attached to them or not?
E&H Bridge, 133, that'd be 191,784.
Okay,
United, I believe, is 18,500. And Iowa Farm Equipment would be $3,500.
okay. Questions about this, gentleman?
Make a motion to approve emergency claims.
Commissioner Elmer makes a motion to approve emergency bids. Bridge 133, E&H Bridge 191, 784. United Consulting Bridge 154, 18,500, and Iowa Farm Equipment for the grinder demonstration that we did this fall or summer,
Yeah.
$3,500.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Unanimous.
Okay, what else you got?
We did sell, we had 5 pieces of equipment advertised, to, FE, fence, DeVito. We did sell a trailer, one of our dump trailers, we did sell it.
What do we get out of it?
We ended up with $22,500 after, after this takeover, after this cut. As far as I know, we haven't had any offers yet, because they've only been out a week. But, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully well. Other than that, complaints are basically down, except for when it snows. Mary worked up some figures the other day. Over a 4-year period, our complaints have dropped from 776 per year to 308 per year, so that's a drop of 468 complaints over a 4-year period. So we're pretty happy about that.
Yep.
But next order of business, I guess.
Open up bids?
Pile of bids.
Okay, here we go. This is the exciting stuff, people. First one, Keystone Cooperative, Indianapolis. This is for county fuel bids. So for those of you who have not witnessed this unbelievable process before, we will take the bids, we will open them up, tell who they're from, what they're for, and then Bob, what do you got going here?
You should be on it.
Yeah, let me see that thing. And then we take them into consideration, plan it to highway, we'll put them all in a binder and a book, then we'll come back and we'll accept them as is, and then anybody who's in the audience that wants to look at the bids is more than welcome to look at them now. Second one is from Petroleum Traders Corporation of Fort Wayne, and it is for fuel and oil supplies. Number 3, U.S. Aggregates out of Indianapolis. This should be a bituminous gravel stone bid. See attached document. Next, Heidelberg Materials, Putnamville Quarry, out of Cloverdale.
What was it again?
Heidelberg, Heidelberg, B-E-R-G. And this is for gravel, stone, bituminous. Next we have E3 Bridge for bridge materials, pipe, box culverts. Next one is Accurate Striping out of Yorktown, Indiana. This is for striping of the roads. Did they bid on the last one we did? I don't know, I've heard of this company.
No,
So we have a new one, hot dog. Something we may need to look at for roads we do this year. Next bid, Evergreen Roadworks out of Terre Haute, Indiana, for bituminous lane striping and chip and seal. Putnam County Aggregates out of Greencastle. The stone bid, rock. Veterans Highway. next we have Metal Culverts, Inc., Jefferson City, Missouri. Drainage project, Say that 3 times. Galvanized pipe. Love it when they're double done.
Yeah, really.
Let me get my knife out.
Yeah, yeah. Whitesville Mill Service. Crawfordsville, Indiana. Gravel, stone, sand, Duraburn, right? Yep, Duraburn. $4 a ton. Do we use much of that anymore? Okay, I think this is an NDOT. Is NDOT bidding on us? Go ahead. This is early coordination letters. Yeah, this is literally NDOT stuff. Yeah. All right. Hey, looks like we're getting some road work in our county. We'll make that separate.
Well, it takes 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years later. What's it for? I-70, 6.4 miles east of State Road 59 and 0.66 miles west of US 231. There you go. This is all I-70 projects, is what this is. Okay, hey, we're getting sued by somebody. That has nothing to do with. That one's for you, buddy. Legal Beagle. Actually, it's the same one.
Same one, yep.
Yeah.
Already gotten that good news.
You already got that good news. It's always fun, the lady that runs my office, when she has to sign her name on stuff I'm getting sued by. She's like, I'm not signing that stuff. I don't care who the carrier is, I ain't signing it. All right, back to the highway. Core, C-O-R-E, in Maine, out of Indianapolis. Looks like this is for pipe, right? For pipe and culverts. Lacal, L-A-C-A-L Equipment, Jackson Center, Ohio.
Is that again, L-A what?
L-A-C-A-L Equipment, Jackson Center, Ohio. We got a catalog.
That's a nice one.
Did you get your calendar there, buddy? All right. No bids involved in the Terracon? Nothing? Got a calendar.
Should've brought a sharp knife.
All right, this is the fuel oil bid. From who? Heritage Petroleum. Where, it doesn't say where Heritage Petroleum is. Looks like Indianapolis. Oh, is this it? Did that go with that? It is out of Indianapolis. All right. Liquid asphalt, this is from Asphalt Materials. Out of Indianapolis. We have Park County Aggregates out of Montezuma. This should be sand, correct? And some gravel.
Sand and gravel,
Yep, sand and gravel.
mainly sand for our needs.
Yep. Okay, so is Keystone bidding on themselves, against themselves, or what?
I think I turned one into the auditor's office and one to the highway.
Yeah, that's the same one. Oh, thank you. Stello, Stello, out of Spencer, Indiana. Highway signs. E&H Bridge, Bedford, Indiana is where they're from. Bridge materials, decking. Milestone Contractors out of Terre Haute. Just by 2 minutes. Coal patch. E&B Paving. Fishers, Indiana. That's for by 2 minutes.
Which will cut up for us, please.
Hot mix. All right, Martin Marietta, out of Cloverdale. Rock and gravel. Lincoln Park Stone, out of Terre Haute. Rock and gravel. S&G Excavating in Terre Haute. Rock and gravel. Doesn't S&G own Lincoln Park? So it's the same.
We do haul some of their material out of Montezuma, the same.
Okay. What looks like the same bid. Last but not least, we have Civil Con, based out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. For bridges, concrete boxes, drainage products. Okay. Is that it? We'll take those under advisement. Like I said, if anybody in the crowd would like to look at these, then we'll have the highway compile them all, set them up here for active meeting.
I got one thing to bring up.
Yes, sir.
For the highway department.
What do you got?
Or for the county, I guess. Last month, Clint gave us bids for the fuel systems. And, anyway, one of them was by my math, $130,000 cheaper than the other one. And I, talked to Stephanie a little bit about this. Do you think we could take, when we go to the council and beg for mercy to get the interest money, that we could use it to pay for the fuel system?
So instead of using it for bridges, use it for a fuel system? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, everything's
We-
on the table.
Right. I mean, you know, this is kind of important. If our fuel system isn't working, we're gonna be kind of,
Yeah, there's definitely not enough money in the highway department to pay for it, that's for sure.
and they shouldn't be the ones having to pay for it all anyway, because.
No, because everyone in the county uses it, I agree,
Yeah.
I agree, I agree.
If you do an additional, instead of saying interest, it's county general money. Interest is already factored into our miscellaneous revenue for county general budgets.
We're taking away from county general when we do that. Not extra money that's sitting there.
Understood.
But you guys
It is extra money because it's interest we make off the money.
But it's already revenue and already.
It is
We've used that
revenue.
revenue for over 30 years to,
I
define
know,
kind general
tomato,
budgets.
tomato. So was that a motion?
Well,
You can make the motion, but just say county general. Instead of saying interest like it's newfound money, it's not, because it's been part of the budget for years.
okay, thank you for the education.
You're welcome.
I need a lot of it. Even got Jim to smile on that one. I mean,
No,
do we need to
it
bring it up now
needs-
or wait or
well,
what?
we've already had the bids.
You know,
If we wait longer, we're gonna have to rebid it because the bids are only good for so long.
right,
This is something we need because we know those tanks are getting older and older and before they start leaking in the ground.
and costing us
And then
more
we
money.
have a lovely environmental hazard.
How long is that bid good for? Because you won't be able to do the additional until January.
Okay,
So
You
you make
remember
sure
that?
that it's gonna be valid to
Probably
January.
this month.
so,
I don't know for sure, I can check, but,
well,
you know, it's definitely.
we can do the motion, pass on to the council for January. In the meantime, we can call both vendors, or call the vendor that we choose, and ask them if that quote is good till the end of January.
Okay.
Did we compare, verify that even though the price is so much cheaper?
Everything read that they're both turnkey systems.
Okay,
So if that includes digging the old tanks up, filling.
it does?
Yeah.
Okay,
They take care of all the IDM paperwork. They fill everything back in, concrete work, overhead piping. Only real difference I saw was versus two 10,000 gallon tanks, it was one 20,000 gallon split.
split tank.
That was the biggest difference of the two of them.
So we're only gonna see one tank out there.
No, well, the one bid, the higher bid had the one tank, and the cheaper bid had the two tanks.
Okay.
And the bigger the
But there's
tank,
three different fuels, right?
No, we can use the same diesel fuel on and off-road. We just have to turn what interval it is.
Oh, that's right, and we get reimbursed.
There's a rebate.
That's right.
System
So
there.
we're only gonna have two fuels out there.
Right, that'll simplify it,
Yes.
hopefully.
Okay. All right, do we remember the name and all that?
one was K&W Equipment, and it was $315,000, and gasoline equipment was $445,000.
And there you have it.
In what?
And there you have it.
Well, then if I'm making the motion, I'll make a motion to approve to accept K&W Equipment's bid at $315,000 and take it from the general fund. Did I get that right, Christina?
Pending council approval.
Right, okay, pending
Do you
council.
want to accept the contract without making sure you have the money? Or do you want to accept it pending that you get the money?
Yes. Make the motion pending council approval.
Sounds good, pending council approval.
Okay.
I will second that.
I'll hold off on that call.
No, we still need to make the call.
We need to lock in that price until January. All unanimous.
Okay, what else you got?
That's all I have. Unless you have something for me.
I don't think so. All right, are we doing appointments today, or are we doing them on the 15th?
15th.
He wants to
Well,
do,
we can
that's
do it.
fine, the 15th's fine.
Okay, we're doing all county on the 15th. And that means we're going to do personnel appointments, commissioners' appointments to boards, and
I guess we could do that one real quick.
the appointments to boards.
Yeah, I think I make a motion to leave them the same.
Leave everything the same. Tom, are you okay with that?
Agree with that, yes.
Okay, so we will leave as is. So Thrive West Central would be Rick Woodall, Solid Waste would be Andy Beck, Tom Helmer. EMS would be Rick Woodall, Health Department Board, Tom Helmer. Green Council, Putnam County Economic Development, Rick Woodall. Planning Commission, Andy Beck. 911, Andy Beck. Purchasing Management, Tom Helmer. Workforce Development, Rick Woodall. Child Protection Service, or Child Protection, Tom Helmer, and the JRAC, Tom Helmer. Okay. Who seconded that?
I did.
Okay,
No.
unanimous. All right. So we'll leave the other two for the next meeting? All right.
Question on that one.
Question on what?
For next month, that is, airport board. Did we just put him on?
Yeah, we got questions on airport board. There's three. Dylan Sutherland is up. It says it's up in April.
We just
It's
put him
turned-
on.
but we,
We just put him on this year.
we,
Did he take over for somebody though in the
No.
term?
He took over for,
no,
Jody needs to get with, because she just went by what, I believe Rex.
we approved that earlier in the year to reappoint him.
Okay, I'll have her get a hold of the airport.
I'm pretty sure it had to be somewhere in May when we reapproved that.
he showed up at the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Okay. All right,
We'll verify.
And also Terry Tippin's not on the hospital board.
yes, that is true.
Hospital board, Terry Tippin?
Yeah, he's not
He's
on.
not on it. I don't know which one it replaces, but,
I did contact them. I got an email on that. I
the
can,
hospital,
yeah, I can tell you real quick if I can find my email.
of who's up?
Yeah, and it's just, one person actually. My gosh, this'll take me forever. The one that is up that I do know was, yeah, Mr. Bray,
Mr. Bray?
yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, moving on to old business. Tom, do you have any old business? No? Andy, do you have old business?
None that I can think of.
Okay. Mr. Inslee?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right. I know it may shock you, but I do. So, since we're moving forward with things that's been kicked down the curb forever and ever, let's talk about the health department, shall we? All right. So we approved to purchase the 309 Medic Way. The commissioners reached out to R&D Builders and asked them for a management proposal. So for the renovation of that building for the health department. So, Mr. Dobson is here from R&D. I asked him if he would show up, and anybody, if you have questions about, you have his proposal that I sent to everyone. He is asking for a total management fee of $35,000. It is broke down into a draw schedule. Basically, he would provide scope of work with pricing options for renovation of the building. He would provide quotes and estimates for renovation of building, including all contractors and material supplies. He would assemble all estimates to provide an overall project cost. He would procure the state CDR's design and drawings required for the CDR, which is a construction design release. The cost of drawings and CDR not included. Management, he
You
would
said
manage,
they are included or not included?
they're not included, so we would pay for those costs, correct? Yep, that the state charges. Manage and oversee all aspects of construction. He would review and submit invoices from the suppliers and contractors to the commissioners to be paid directly by the county. Provide any change orders for changes to scope during construction. Provide monthly updates on progress of construction and updates on any change orders. Ensure that all contractors have the appropriate insurance as required. And he will call for applicable inspections required by the county to ensure compliance. Do we have any questions for Mr. Dobson?
How do we know what the Board of Health's gonna need, or?
This is you, buddy. So, basically, to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, he will meet with the health department, go over what they want.
Yes.
And then come back to us with, this is a list of everything, this is the Cadillac or the Chevy model or whatever you wanna call it, this is what they're asking for.
Right. Excuse my voice too, but, and we've walked through the building already, so at least preliminarily, I've got an idea of kind of what their wish list is. But I think we need to probably do that again and define specifically, okay, if we can do everything we want, this is what we want to do. And then, but here are some things that we can not do depending on where that comes into budget.
Dollar-wise.
Dollar-wise, and then that would be my job to assemble bids and options within those bids to say, okay, here's gonna be your total cost if we do their wish list of everything. Then based on the things that they say they can do without, here's our total cost to do without those things. And then it's basically between them and you or whoever to make that decision. And then even at that point, we could even go around again if we needed to and say, okay, based on where we're at here, can we do this or not do that? Because at least initially walking through this, there's several things that they would like to do, which are not a problem to do, but as you do those things, it starts to involve other areas of the building that now are gonna require work. So, you know, that estimate can kind of balloon to a degree. And I think that there's maybe some preliminary numbers that were put together even when the commissioners made the decision to go with that building. So I'm not sitting here suggesting that all of a sudden those numbers are gonna change from those preliminary numbers, but within you guys can make a decision, or whomever can make a decision, okay, we're good at this number, they're gonna get their wish list of everything, or just to do this over here now starts to affect so many other parts of the building and is gonna start incurring cost. Maybe this is something, you know, they just live with it the way it is, and we're not incurring these other costs. But that would be my job to put all that together for you to be able to make those, or whomever to make those decisions. If that makes sense.
Yep. Questions?
You answered it. Because I don't want you to just go in there and they have a wish list and also we get the bill. They have to have some
No,
control.
we will have, the commissioners will have to approve everything before it is done.
And really even within that, that's gonna be the first step too, because depending on what's being done and not being done will affect the design as it affects this construction design release from the state. I already talked to the building department just to keep everything, I'll say the term fair within everybody. They're just gonna say, just do a construction design release because it doesn't give the appearance of, there's really not much, even within the dream list of everything that needs to be done. It's, the construction design release from the state, to a degree, I'm gonna say is a formality. There's nothing overly involved there that's gonna require a tremendous amount of extra design or anything. But because the county building department and planning has made others doing similar work get a construction design release, they just wanna keep that.
We're treated the same as others.
As anyone else. And
Right.
so that part of it's not a big deal, but we need to know our scope so that when we send that construction design release and those drawings in, that we're submitting accurately. Now, once you get that construction design release from the state, because we have a local building inspector, the state's never gonna come out here. It's now up to the building department and the building inspector to do the local inspections, just like they would for anybody else. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
So, where's the 35,000?
Where is 35 grand coming from?
I get to ask that question this time.
Absolutely. So the health department has a line item, and help me with that.
So we have, yes. We have extra money in cash flow, is that the right term?
They have 55,000 available for additionals for this year.
Yeah, that we advertise, so.
Yep.
We advertise high, so we can ask for the.
Correct.
lower amount.
Right. And that will go to the council
In December.
in December.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then that is where that would come from, Andy.
Okay.
It would be paid from the health department. And then once we figure out numbers, then we're gonna have to figure out where we're gonna pay for the renovation cost. So, now, if we approve this today and we get renovation costs back that we can't figure out where to pay it from, then we're still out this money. Just gotta make sure everybody's aware of that, so, okay? All right, any other questions from anyone? No?
I make the motion to approve, what is it,
R&D?
R&D
I'll second.
for the management proposal for the renovation of the Putnam County Health Department.
Okay. Commissioner Bex makes a proposal, R&D Builders, for the management proposal for a sum of $35,000 to be paid as the fee, which I'll give you this, and to be taken out of the health department fund or whatever that's. 1159, okay. Commissioner Helmer seconds that, I'll make that unanimous. The hospital said that if you need in the building, to call them and you can get in there after hours or whatever days or what they're not seeing patients. Their goal is to be out of that building by April 1st. Was it March 1st? March 1st. Their goal is to be out of there by March 1st, so then we could start. And the health department is able to stay where they're at until the completion of said renovation. So, all right. Also remember, they're going to somehow or another give a list of what they want to leave that you guys either approve or deny. If you approve it, it stays. If you deny it, they're going to haul it out. Okay? So, just so you know. All right? All right, there's that. Good deal. Just FYI, over the weekend with the snow and the crazy, Medic 5, of course, one of our new ambulances, was responding to a call on I-70 of a wreck when it was, they told me initially it got rear-ended by a semi. It was responding to a wrecked semi. It got rear-ended by an SUV, I guess, which put it in the ditch. Apparently, we think it's bent the box and some other things, so they will come and look at it and decide whether or not it's totaled or what's going to happen. The problem with that for us is we ordered an ambulance that was supposed to be delivered a year ago that has still not been delivered. We have got an insane amount of runaround from the company we bought it from. It is now officially time to order another ambulance. So we're kind of in a pickle. I can't remember off the top of my head, Tom. I wish I could remember, but they're officially a year past due of delivering that ambulance.
Do we have legal?
Yeah, we're working on legal ramifications as we speak. So on that, I even told the EMS that start looking for used ambulances.
There's some dealers that's got some.
So, and that's where we're going, is gonna start looking at that and figure out so we can try to stay on our replacement schedules. The 3 Ram ambulances are really starting to eat up dollars and.
It's Fire Service Incorporated.
Yeah, Fire Service Incorporated.
St. John, Indiana.
So, is where it come from. So there's the update on that. I do not have anything else. Does anybody in the audience have anything they want to add?
I'll give it one thing.
Well, yeah.
We had a bid from Jammer Excavating. I did not make it here with it. They got it in under the deadline. Robin actually has that in possession. So,
Bid for? Oh, for annual bids?
Annual bid, yeah.
Oh,
Yep. For emergency work, hourly work, stuff like that.
okay. Can you add that to our? They got, what do you mean by they got it under the?
Well, the
You
deadline-
received it in time?
Yeah, we received it.
You just don't have it with you?
I just do not have it with me.
Okay. JAMMR of Greencastle. Do you have that in front of you?
I just showing her how to spell.
Okay. All right. So we'll add that to our yearly bids. Anything else, anyone? Appreciate your time. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second by Tom. Huh? Oh, gosh darn it. We forgot to approve the minutes, Christina. We're opening up the meeting for 30 seconds
Make a motion to approve.
to approve the November 17th meeting minutes.
Yeah.
I'll second it. Motion to adjourn again.
I will get
I
that.
apologize, sorry, dadgummit.
Were we on TV?
We're still on TV.
We're still on TV?